I could never appreciate the attraction of staying in one place for long. Moving, a vain attempt to avoid the ravages of space and time. Perhaps some need to break with the past. The past this time, another failed relationship. She leaves, and I abandon the space she leaves behind. But why these border hills and the dim prospect of an unpromising job? Old family photographs I'd seen years before had lately come to mind. My grandfather growing up somewhere up here. I was always curious to know what it was about this border country that made him refer to it as that most God-forsaken place.
What's the quickest way into Ross Bay from here?
If you keep to the main road, it's well posted from there.
I'm in a hurry.
See that young cub over there? He's headed there, or thereabouts.
Clean sheep not on sale over this side of the border. We're back in the south.
We're in the north, all right. I'd been reading optimistic things about the border country opening up, now that peace had finally broken out. Probably should have done a bit more research. At least I should have known that old wars are like old lovers. Their ghosts hang around long after the guns have gone silent.
So, what brings you to Ross Bay, Mr. Markey?
I'm a hill walker, and this is a beautiful part of the country, and I could do with a change of air, I suppose.
City life got the better of you.
I'd like to think I got the better of it before it got the better of me.
Any connections with these parts?
I think my grandfather came from somewhere around here.
You think?
Have you ever drawn a map?
No, but I've always wanted to.
How would you go about it then?
I'd use the existing Ordnance Survey maps as a foundation. Then, with my GPS palm top connected to my video cam, I'll be able to combine accurate map readings with
a 3D visual reference.
Now, we're not looking for anything too complicated. Just something to bring a few tourists into the area.
Even the simple things can be complicated, Reverend.
Very profound, Jane. You've used this before.
On the last survey I did.
Which was?
The Dublin drainage system. The sewers. They're falling apart, and for some reason they didn't know what was falling apart because there wasn't a map. So They needed an engineer to do it.
I expect you'll find the air up here a little sweeter.
But perhaps a little cooler. You're not interested in politics, Mr. Markey?
A little less than sewers, Father.
I see you're a Quaker.
Quakers always manage to stay out of the main scrapes, Reverends, huh?
Well, I'm sure you've other people to see.
No, you're the last. For today.
Welcome to Rossvay.
I'm curious about maps. Not so much what they contain, but more why things get left out. The untold story that lies in the blank spaces. I'd come to realize that the closer you look at any map, the more immense those spaces become. Now it was my job to fill in the spaces. The Rossvay Heritage Committee having enlisted me to fill in all the back lanes and sheep trails that the Ordnance Survey hadn't bothered to include. Despite the committee's uptight behavior, sparring clerics and the other couple who I presumed were married, they were offering a 3-month contract and seemed happy to leave me to my own devices. Not that I would ever feel like I was completely on my own.
Oh, shit.
How's it going?
What is it?
It looks like you've an interesting piece of archaeology out there. Am I right in saying it's a ring fort?
I'm not selling.
I'm not buying.
There's enough bloody forestry about this country as it is.
You've the wrong idea.
I'm tired of it, do you hear? If I find any of our fences pulled down by you boys, there'll be a sight to pay. That's it now.
What was your man about?
Forestry men, wouldn't you know? That the country destroyed with it.
That was no forestry man.
Cooper. Murdered.
So he comes up to the house with his bag of tricks. The old man gave him a right warm reception, so he did. Them forestry boys must be paying good wages, are they?
I wouldn't know.
Well, none too thick with them around here these days.
Thick sounds about right for where they plant their trees.
What class of an accent's that now, Kieran? That's neither English nor Irish, eh?
That, gobshite, is the sound of education.
Something you'd know nothing about, Patsy.
It's not the trees we're on about now. It's the crew they have planting them.
Box of matches, Brady.
So who do you work for?
I'm making a map for the Heritage Committee.
Another shower off the boat.
We all crawled out of the sea at one time or other.
Some of us haven't progressed much since, have we?
Good luck with your map. Stay away from the forestry works for a day or two.
And if I don't?
Tell him I want that stretch finished by Monday, even if it means working through the weekend, right? Richie, completely forgot you here about your contract.
I'm here about the forestry work at Mullockbawn. It looks like your men are about to clear fell around an important-looking monument.
An archaeologist as well. Is there no end to your talent? And tell me, what exactly are you referring to?
A court tomb, quite possibly a jewel court tomb.
At Mullockbawn? Yeah, I have no reference for that.
I saw it with my own eyes.
This whole area was surveyed by a team of archaeologists not 10 years ago. Now, planning permission was granted to us, paying full cognizance to their findings. I can tell the men to keep an eye out, but we're trying to take advantage of this dry spell we're having. Right, let's get you a contract.
Hi, morning.
He's your man.
That's the guy who got the job at the Heritage Committee.
Looks harmless enough. Hi, Martin.
Hey, hi.
Fella lived here for years. Some class of a hermit. When they found him after 6 months, he was lying right there where you're standing.
When you've been around this country as long as me, you'll get to know your way. It's not the worst of places. A few evil bucks about, but there's plenty that's good.
Shouldn't you be at school?
School won't tell me what I need to know.
So what do I call you?
Different names. I wouldn't pay heed to most of them.
What do your parents call you?
Well, my mommy calls me Cub, and Nolan's the name my daddy left me.
Left?
So what are you doing with all that machinery?
I'm trying to make a map.
I had a mind we were looking for him.
Looking for who? Come on, I'll give you a lift.
He'll bloody well walk like the rest of us.
What the fuck? Did you see who did this?
No, them's the evil bucks.
I need a drink.
Well, I'll say one thing for you. You seem to have no problem finding that.
It's only me. Goodness, you look like you've seen a ghost. on in. I'm afraid there's nothing stronger than tea. I'm only here to check up on the place. People are very curious about you.
And I about them.
How did you get on with Robert?
Not very well. Cooper.
My maiden name. That's my brother, Dawson.
I saw the memorial to him up at Mullaghbawn. Must have been a difficult time.
It certainly was.
Wasn't this around the time those archaeologists were here?
Yes, but they had to leave.
Were they threatened?
Not directly. A local man helping them out, by the name of Peter Nolan, was abducted.
Nolan. I've met his son.
So you know about it?
No. Go on.
Word went round that Peter Nolan was an informer, that he'd been using his work with the archaeologists to spy for terrorist activity. It was a painful time for all of us.
And they never found his body.
Don't you think that's very cruel? Stealing a man from his family like that?
Make a name for yourself, Devlin, and catch the bastard who done for those poor base.
If you want to make a statement, James, there are procedures.
He's no right well who's at this crack. Don't need me to tell you.
Can't say he wasn't warned.
I'd say the last tourist we had in here was in 1973. And he was only looking for directions out of the place. Do you think this map of yours will bring them in? Because you do get awful sick looking at the same old faces. Harry, boys, what'll it be?
3 pints of beer will do for the start, Bridie. And whenever the Mapmaker's having.
A fire extinguisher might do for him, Brady.
I'll stay on my own, thanks.
Haven't seen you for a long time, Harry.
You know the way it is, Bridie. Our people haven't been the most welcome in this part of the parish. Since we was forced to keep to our own.
It's a pity some people couldn't stay with their own.
We may have been forced to mind our own, but we never did for our own.
Where's with that music? You're starting to sound like some old marching band.
My father always said you served the best pint in the parish.
Sure, maybe he'll call again.
Unlikely.
suppose you'll be heading down the march with the oranges, huh? You don't get no trucks then, bucko. A good storyteller like your daddy-o.
Hey! Get away from him.
Who says?
I told you. Fuck off! Now leave him alone.
We catch you around Tullykelcup, there'll be a sight to pay. Killyjoss boys are the best. Us Killyjoss boys will beat the rest.
Cub, I don't live in Killyjoss.
Well, you might as well do now. Because those Tullykill boys will be after you too.
You know, in the last century, when they were deciding where to put the border between the north and the south, well, they set up a big committee of men from different parts. My granda was an expert on these things, and because he was a Quaker...
What's a Quaker?
Neither one thing or the other. The new Irish government thought he would be acceptable to the other side, so they asked him to be on their big committee. They argued a lot about where the border should go. Some places like Rossvay here could just as easily have ended up in the south as in the north.
I'll give you a bit of Killyjoss for a bit of Ahabog.
Uh-huh.
No chance, Richie. Need your head examined.
And so it went. Until someone told tales to the newspaper about where the committee wanted to put the border. A leak. The Irish government blamed the British government. But among themselves, the Irish blamed my granda for telling tales.
My daddy told no tales. Do you hear that? No tales. Whatever your old fool of a granddad done.
I heard somewhere about a Tinker's Lane in Mullatownland, but when I looked at the parish records, it was called St. Brendan's Lane.
Yeah, it's depending on whose parish record you're looking at. Now, my neighbours, the Proctors, they call it Colebrook Lane. Colebrook. I think he was a soldier.
Listen, if you want to find out what the local people up there called it, James Maguire down there will tell you.
What about it, James? Saint or soldier, huh?
Or the Tinker.
Saint or soldier, Brady?
I'll wager the saint.
Richie has it. It's Tinker's Lane.
Ah, Tinker's Lane it was.
They should have renamed it Drinker's Lane. Therein lies a tale of ruin.
Oh, Christ.
Mr. Markey. Sergeant Sean Devlin. Thanks for waiting on.
Do you know who it is?
The police have a number of cases of unsolved disappearances. where we suspect a person is deceased. And I think it'd be better to chat in a couple of days. In the meantime, I'll have someone run you up.
I'm just up the road.
Oh, of course. Tully killed Townland.
Bug. Tully kills the next Townland up.
You're getting to know the area well.
Hello, Richard. Can I come in? I heard what happened.
Yeah, I've decided to leave. I feel like a fool. I've been stumbling around this place like a complete idiot.
I remember after my brother was killed. His body wasn't cold in the ground before my parents decided it was time for us all to leave. That it wasn't safe to live out here anymore. I knew that's what the people who killed my brother wanted.
You had something to stay here for.
Don't you?
I might, if I knew what I wanted.
So? Why come here then?
I was trying to get away from something.
Or someone?
The memory of someone.
And we thought you were here to look for your northern roots.
I'm not sure I want to find them.
I can understand why you would want to leave. This place is hard, but it's beautiful.
It's not the place that's at fault, but what people have been doing to each other. It's him, isn't it? That kid's father.
I'm sure they'll be very grateful.
Again, what were you doing in that area in the days before the Brits ambushed our two volunteers?
I told you already. I was showing the archaeologists the fine things this country of ours has to offer.
We know you showed the British Army IRA trails across this country.
Them's not your trails, boys.
They belong to the ancient people, and they'll be here long after you or I have left this earth.
Peter Nolan, you're a tight. Why have you seen come out of Ross V barracks the day before the bread's dead for our two boys?
I tell you, someone was trying to make me look like an informer.
Who?
I couldn't be sure, but they had me lifted off the mountain in the helicopter. Came out of the air like a bird and had me away.
For afternoon tea. Stop fucking around, Nolan.
I tell you, on the life of my wee boy.
They couldn't have ambushed our boys without local information.
That's what I'm trying to tell you, Jesus. Look, we'll just go up to Derrybeg Townland, across the Purgatory Field to Tubber-na-Sul. Look down the brae and you shall find the boys who did for your men. Look down the brae and you shall find the same boys that set me up.
And you think they'll still be hanging around?
Our brother Peter has gone to his rest in the peace of Christ. May the Lord now welcome him to the table of God's children in heaven. With faith and hope in eternal life, let us assist him with our prayers. Let us pray to the Lord also for ourselves. May we who mourn be reunited one day with our brother. Together may we meet Christ Jesus when he, who is our life, appears in glory.
If all three send a message back, we can pinpoint our exact position using simple trigonometry.
I told you that machine of his would find Daddy.
Your daddy's at peace now. Go on, night cub, and fodder them cows of yours.
He's a fine boy.
Out of control without a father's hand.
Rose, did they ever give you any explanation?
My husband did nothing wrong.
No proof?
They could keep their proof. Anyways, thanks to you, sir, we have what we've been waiting for this 10 years past.
My daddy knew this country here better than any book ever did. Better than any mapmaker ever will. What do you call this townland here that you're standing in?
Rushes.
That's rushes below that bit of a shuck there. There's nothing but rushes ever grew in them wet fields. No rushes here in Killyjas.
The beautiful wood.
What about that field there? That's the grace field. And that bush out beyond that heap of rock. That's the ghost bush. For another bloody good reason. Not even the cattle goes near it on All Souls Night. You see, for all your big education, you know nothing. And I went back to you. To wherever it is you came out of.
Cub. In.
So was he an informer or wasn't he?
As I'm sure you're aware, Mr. Markey, the police never confirm or deny any of these allegations. The use of informants has been a particularly sensitive but necessary aspect of our recent conflicts. Many lives have been saved.
So the case is closed?
Yes, it is. Mr. Markey, I have here an urgent order from the heritage authorities instructing me to enforce the preservation of a number of archaeological monuments.
Which you intend to enforce?
You don't have a problem with me and my force, Mr. Markey.
Why would I? I believe I've already been of some assistance to you. I can't help thinking there were people who knew that man lay there.
Nobody wants to know about an informer.
If you like. Your house will be, at least.
You know, I want to do away with all our beautiful place names and give us numbers.
I'm looking for a holy well, Tuber-na-Sul, for the map. It might be of interest to my hill walkers.
Tuber what?
Tuber-na-Sul. It means well of the eyes in Irish. Probably offers a cure for sore eyes or poor sight. My information is it's around here somewhere.
It's a cure for sore ears we need around this country.
It's above a purgatory field.
Purgatory field? There's nothing of that description in Drumreen townland.
Where did you say?
Drumreen.
I thought this was Derrybeg.
Now, don't be cheeky, young fella. There's no dairy bag here. Whoever told you otherwise was pulling your leg. You like doing that to blow-ins?
Will you go up to Derrybeg townland, across the purgatory field to Tuber-na-Sul? Look down the brae and you shall find the boys who did for your men.
So, what were you doing with these archaeologists?
I was showing them the fine things this country of ours has to offer.
Such as?
Well, like the fairy rings and the forts that I'd learned about as a young cub, and please God, I'll teach my own cub. I tell you, they were good people, with the worry that these things would be destroyed the way they've been destroyed in every other place.
Ah, here's the cake. Look at that. Where's your bag of wind now, Leslie?
You must have missed my sermon last Sunday, Robert.
Oh, don't tell me the return of the prodigal son.
Oh, so you were there?
In fact, it was rather illuminating, Robert.
Yeah, I'm sorry I missed it.
Our heritage is not about standing still and looking back over our shoulders, but about forging new initiatives, like this map of mine.
Oh, yours. I'd say Jane would have something to say about that.
Well, Jane has been a very diligent member of the committee.
Someone mention my name?
Just something.
You never told me why it was you decided to stay.
The night before I was going to leave, someone dropped a package through my letterbox. It was a tape of Peter Nolan's confession. He tells them every place he went with the archaeologists. Most of the time, I've managed to stay on his trail, but for now, I'm lost.
You're using his confession to draw the map.
He knew things about this place that no one may ever know again if someone doesn't write them down.
And that's what made you stay. A dead man's words.
Richie, better get in there quick before the Reverend steals all the credit for this map. I gather you're nearly finished?
I'm a bit stuck at the moment.
And does it have to be so difficult? I mean, don't they have satellites these days that can take a snapshot of this little piece of Earth of ours and hey presto, you have your map?
If we're always looking from a distance, everything appears more or less the same, doesn't it? A question of perspective.
The eye of the beholder. A bit like beauty, no?
The closer you are, the more unique.
I'm not so sure. Near or far, it's all a heap of barren earth for little more than grown trees.
Now, Richard, about the map. We must make plans for publication.
What did I tell you?
Cheer up, everybody, cheer up. It's not every day I'm 70.
The thing is, Leslie, you never change.
I should hope not.
Full fire, for fuck's sake! Holy fuck. It's the Mapmaker.
Trouble fucking Mapmaker would be more like it. Digging for another informer, are we? How's about there?
Hooray!
Or there?
Hey!
What the hell is going on? Boss it, lower your gun. You are out of order, man.
Little else to be doing?
Well, get the hell off this property. This man doesn't have you prosecuted, the company will. We've had to lay a couple of them off since this heritage order of yours.
It's their heritage, too.
They don't see it quite like that. You'll be all right?
Thanks.
Right. I better be off. Jane will be waiting.
That trail is called Ballinabehi, the Way of the Beasts. It's an old cattle trail that runs across Rossway Valley and away on up the steep valley wall. If you keep the old man's head to your left, it'll bring you through to the lakes in no time. They came out of the air like a bird and had me away. I'll see you there.
See you, Harry. All right, good luck, Harry.
Look, will you go up to Derrybeg townland, across the Purgatory Field to Tubbern-the-Soot? Look down the brae and you shall find the boys who did for your men. Look down the brae and you shall find the same boys that set me up.
And you think?
His voice is so sad.
I'm confused. His description of the ambush site is completely off.
He could have said anything. Those men had their minds made up.
But to get it so wrong.
Peter Nolan knew this place like no one else.
I didn't realize you knew him so well.
We were neighbours. Sat together in that old school below.
But he's completely mistaken.
Maybe he didn't want to confess to something he didn't do.
The only people who believe he wasn't an informer are his wife and his son.
How do you know?
So why couldn't he just have said what he meant?
Do we always say what we mean? The truth can be dangerous.
Is something on your mind?
Too much.
Do you want to tell me?
Did you know that the first maps of this area had almost nothing on them? The mapmaker drew the boundary of the estate lands, marked up the castle and the Reverend's church, and then hightailed it out of here before the natives could get him.
Leaving the rest to the imagination.
Perhaps as it should be.
There's no going back. We know too much.
And look where it's got us.
Don't think I haven't noticed you.
Robert is a very possessive man.
You're not in love with him.
It's more complicated than that. Richie, finish your map and leave.
Why did you call?
I'm trying to tell you to take care. People are very angry still.
Don't be let down, boys.
Radio, Harry.
Take care there, Harry.
And lock up well.
My brother and Peter Nolan used to have their games. One of their favourites was a running race to a secret place that no one else was told about. First to Tubernasul wins the day. I have to confess, I don't even know what it means.
It's a holy place, made sacred by the wishes of the people who visit it.
And nobody goes there anymore.
We need to get them on a respirator quick. They're taking an awful smoke. Okay, lads, you're clear. Come on.
I heard you sold up.
Others too.
You said yourself it wasn't forestry land.
Well, it will be soon.
Kieran not up to farming?
The politics have been well distracted. And who else but the forestry would want it? The ugly trees are a curse we drew down on ourselves. But they'll not cover our sins.
What sins?
What's it to you? You're looking for them two boys who's run together.
I'm looking for the holy well them two boys used to run to.
They were great sport, weren't they? Huh? The only two boys I'd let cross my land. Nobody else. I saw off the rest of them.
That's Drumreen back there. Is this Drumreen here?
For what it matters, this is all Drumreen.
And Tubernasul?
It's a ways over that ridge.
That's the holy well?
I wouldn't rightly know. That's not our country. But I suppose there was much right to be on your map as we do.
I suppose they do.
Tell me, where are you from yourself?
From flesh and bone.
I see.
Coming up on the outside is Peter Nolan, the fastest man in Killyjas. Them Tullykill boys hadn't have been waiting for me. I'd have had the better of you. You're lucky I was behind you. Us Killyjas boys showed them, huh? Did rightly. Curse on them Tullykill boys. Now, cursed is right. Can you keep a secret? You'd not get me to talk. Come here, so. You see that shack there? That's where the gun club was moved to.
Already. I was showing the archaeologists the fine things this country of ours has to offer.
Excuse me for not knocking.
No point in standing in ceremony. You seem to have maintained a keen interest in Peter Nolan.
He wasn't an informer, was he?
No, he wasn't.
So why was he framed?
Revenge. Peter Nolan was the sole male heir to his elderly parents' farm.
As was Dawson Cooper.
An eye for an eye. Kill an only son on the other side by the land.
So who were your eyes? Kieran Maguire? His uncle. The IRA crossed his land to kill Dawson Cooper, and he didn't like that.
No, he certainly did not.
So who set Nolan up, then? Had to be someone local to have that kind of knowledge, but with connections to the special services to arrange the helicopter airlift that made him a marked man.
No, he wasn't working for me.
SAS?
Well, it's not out of the question. The British took all the help they could get in the fight against the IRA, exposing men like Dawson Cooper and myself.
And do you think he's still about?
I know he is. And he's still stirring it up.
The Orange Hall.
Carefully calculated act of black propaganda.
You really haven't a clue who it is.
Why do you think I sent you the tip?
If I can identify who it is, will you move against him?
Of course I will.
That's the queerest thing I ever heard. I'll be marching up through the upper village with the lodge by right.
And what we'll be doing is reinforcing that right. No one will be hurt.
Like when we burned our own hall.
Harry, I told you to have that place cleared.
And now we're going to shoot over the heads of our own people.
These are the orders.
They're your orders.
Look, it's time to put an end to all this softly, and this is how we're going to do it.
See anything? Just some vermin digging around in the bins. Let's clear everything out of here.
Richie. What is it?
You worried I might blow your cover?
What are you talking about?
How well did you know Peter Nolan?
I told you we were neighbours.
Well enough to know he wasn't an informer.
Why are you saying these things?
Because Robert, your husband, and his mates at that gun club set him up as an act of revenge for your brother's killing.
That's ridiculous.
Peter suspected as much because he left the clue in the tape.
You are obsessed by that tape.
Now, having burnt the hole out there themselves, they're planning to stir the shit at the parade tomorrow.
I am not my husband's keeper.
That's not good enough, Jane.
But it wouldn't take much to understand that he thinks we've been sold out.
To who?
Who do you think? The likes of Kieran Maguire telling the people of this village where they can and can't go?
Listen to yourself.
What do you know about it? You and your people down there, you stood by while the men who killed my brother celebrated in your bars.
You knew all along. Not only are you protecting him, you're protecting yourself.
Go and tell your friends in the police.
You think that's why I stayed?
No, I think you were trying to find yourself. But now that you have, you're disappointed just like the rest of us. But unlike the rest of us, you can come and go as you please. Because of that, you'll never truly know what it means to be committed to anything or anybody other than yourself.
Like your commitment to Robert.
Get out.
Look, I'm sorry, the parade will go ahead. It has to. But, you know, the bands will not play through the upper village. They've agreed to that. And you can't have a protest. I'll have another through. You're not happy, you know, but, I think we'll get some sort of...
Can I help you?
Sergeant Sean Devlin. I'm sorry I'm unable to take your call. But if you leave a message...
How are you? Pretty better. Here's the eye. Not too bad.
Very punctual, Richie. Now make yourself at home. I think you already know your way around.
Where's Jane?
On our way to church.
Richie? No, Robert.
Up. Get up.
Come on, Jane.
What do you reckon, Joe? How do you think he gets his thick fat head into that helmet, huh? I don't know. Do you think the Muppet can read? It's okay, I do you a wee picture. You stepped in way out of your depth, Richie.
I still figured you out.
Bully for you.
I wasn't the only one. Peter knew you. You set him up.
Peter Nolan had to pay for someone else's crime. An eye for an eye is the way it had to be.
No, it doesn't. Put the gun down.
It's not a bit rich, Jane, coming from you. You who demanded vengeance over Dawson's body.
He was my brother.
And my friend.
Put down the gun, Robert.
I was the one who found him, remember? Shot like an animal as he went about an honest day's work.
And we took our revenge. But you just don't know when to stop.
Put down the gun, Mr. Bates.
Cub, stay put.
Why did you hate me so much afterwards?
I was punishing myself.
Until he arrived.
Put the gun down, sir.
Been an incident in the woods involving who? Robert Bates.
Bates?
Yeah.
Get the car.
So what did the Tully Kill boys have to say then?
That they were sorry for what they'd said. Oh yeah, and that they owe you a dig in the mouth.
I've you to defend me now.
As long as you stay about.
You'd have me, would you?
Suit yourself. Is Jane coming back?
I don't know.
You like her, don't you?
What do you think of that?
As long as she's sorry for what she's done.
I'm sure she is.
See ya.
Quiet! Order! Now, if you would just like to hold your breath for 2 minutes, the Reverend James has a few words that he'd like to say.
Thank you, Bridie. Yes, well, I would just like to thank our cartographer for the wonderful work done on our behalf. And wish him well for his future.
Praise indeed.
I didn't think you were coming back.
I thought about it after I was released. I went to see Cub and his mother today. You're going back, aren't you?
Back to what? Crawling along sewers for a living?
Don't worry. It's here all right.
Stop teasing us, Richie.
So, what are you going to do with yourself?
Gonna keep making maps.